I said, no, 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 and I shouted at him.
As an elderly woman pumps her gas, she's unaware of this man's sinister plans. Watch as he sucker punches her in the face, knocking her to the ground. Moments later, he carjacks her vehicle and leads LAPD on a wild pursuit throughout several cities before he rams head-on into a police car and is taken into custody.
He carjacked me, he socked me, kicked me.
The carjacking victim didn't give her name, but with a bandage fresh on her face, she explained how it all went down at this Chevron on Sepulveda Boulevard.
Well, I was getting gas, and the man came up and asked for a ride, and I said, no, 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 and I shouted at him.
Security video shows the man continuing to linger around her car, even scoping out her passenger side.
And again, I shouted at him, and he went back around.
After the man continues to hover around the area, he approaches the back side of her car and does something to distract her.
He had undone my gas thing and was pounding on the car like, look, you left it open, and I got out to shut it, and he punched me and kicked me.
After the blow to the face, she could only watch from the ground as the man took her car and drove away. LAPD immediately began a grand theft auto pursuit. He eventually drove onto a sidewalk and looped around into oncoming traffic. That's when he crashed head-on into an LAPD unit. He climbs out the window and foot bails, but doesn't get far before he's taken down and arrested. Only Fox 11 was there as the GTA suspect was arrested, then loaded into a car. But after a few minutes, he began screaming and acting erratically. That led police to call for backup and paramedics after LAPD tells us the man was repeatedly banging his head against the window. He continued to scream as he was restrained to a stretcher face down, then loaded into an ambulance, where it appeared he kept resisting inside before eventually being taken to a hospital. And as for his victim, she's ending her day with a bad bruise but a good attitude. Simply thankful her attacker now off the streets.
Oh yes, very much so. Very happy. So he can't do this to anybody else. Nobody else gets hurt.
And that suspect's identity has not yet been released by LAPD. I had the chance to talk to a couple officers on scene, and they said, look, we don't know what this guy's deal is, why he keeps screaming this way, but they suggested perhaps he could be under the influence of some kind of a drug. He could potentially have some mental health issues. They also suggested maybe he just didn't want to go to jail right away and was putting on a little bit of a show, wanting to go to the hospital instead. If that's what he wanted, that's what he got. Still going to end up in jail, though.